Hi, folks. So I meant to record the demo I did in the class meet yesterday and completely forgot to hit the button to record. So here's a quick recap of what was covered in yesterday's meet. And you need a refresher or you missed the meet. So picking up where we left off in the last video. Okay, so when you first log in to your WeVideo account, you'll see a page like this. And if you already imported your clips from the video the other day, you should see this here. You just go to edit. I've already got my clips imported into my bin here, and I've laid down my first two clips on the timeline. This opening shot, craning out of the water, and then this shot dollying in behind the character. So now I'm just going to put together a few other extra shots to create a little sequence here. And there are different ways to approach this. So you can kind of emulate what I'm doing, or you can take your own approach with it. I'm actually going to do this a little differently than I did in the meet yesterday. So we've got the dolly in on the character here. So let's look at this shot dollying past the character. Maybe we'll start it just before his hand enters the frame there. I'm going to use the little handle on the side to trim the shot. And then the same over here, just as he's leaving frame. And then I'll drop that clip down there. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I like to see my layout a little more clearly. And we've also got some other shots of him standing there at the rail. You don't have to use all the shots, but you could use all of them. You would probably have to use smaller pieces of each of them. This one here, let's drag this all the way. Oops, I need to drag it from over here. And I'm going to use the trim tool this time. So I'll scrub through to where I want to get the shot. Yeah, we'll start about there. I don't want to go too far out. Clip that, delete that. All right, so we've got him still standing at the rail. He's not really moving or anything yet. The next shot I want to go to is this close-up of him leaning against the rail, but his head is looking around, which doesn't match this shot here. He's looking off to his left in this shot, and in this shot he's looking off to his right. And there's no real way to bridge between those with the existing shot. This one here doesn't go any longer, but we could use like an insert of the sunset here to show what he's looking at. So I'm just going to drop that down there. We don't need it nearly that long, so I'm going to shorten that one up quite a bit. About a second and a half. It shows you that little number right there, the 1.1112. That's how long we're doing. That's 1 second and 14 frames. Yeah, that's about long enough. Then we can go to this shot here with him looking around. And we don't need all of the head motion there either. So let's just maybe right about there. We'll cut it there. Get rid of that chunk. Move this over. Some editing software will slide it over for you automatically when you delete something, but this one doesn't seem to. Now, here's what we're looking at for our next cut. At this point, at the very end, he starts to step away from the rail and takes his arm off the rail. Of course, then the shot ends. And we've got a couple different angles of him walking to the helicopter then. So we can see which one of these is going to work best for us. See, this one here we probably don't want to use because at the point he's stepping away, right about there, it's not that different a shot from this one here. It's a very similar shot. It's a little wider, but it would work, but it's not ideal. I want to get an entirely different angle. Let's see. Here it is. So the camera kind of comes up the stairs here. So it's a totally different angle than what we had here. So I want to find, okay, so right about there, his arm comes away from the rail. So we're going to start that shot right there. And then we'll drop that down on the timeline and see how that looks as far as continuity of motion. Yeah, that works pretty well. And then it swings around to him opening the helicopter door and climbing in. But I'm going to cut this just as he... Well, actually, I'm going to check my next shot first. Here we go. As we walk up. So let's try to cut this as he opens the door. I'll just slide this handle in here. And let's see, there's the door opening. So I'm going to start this shot just before we see light through the door. And then this shot down here, same thing. We want to get it just as he's starting to open the door. So this is another match on action cut. So I'm going to just cut that right there, get rid of that piece, and then drag this one down. And let's see how that looks. Yeah. Oops, playing from the very beginning. I didn't want to do that just yet. All right, so this shot here ends with him in the cockpit. So let's just get him reaching for those controls. That's a really short shot, so we probably don't even need to trim that. Yeah. And then we've got, let's see, what's this shot here? Okay, we see him still messing with the controls. The rotors are starting up. So maybe we just drop that shot in right there. It's another short one. We probably don't need to trim. Let's look at how that looks. Yeah, that works. And then, we have various shots of the exterior of the helicopter as it starts to take off. You can put those together as you like. I think I'm going to go ahead and stop here. Well, we'll do one last one. I just like that shot right there. And we'll cut it a little early. And drop it down there. And the audio isn't perfect, as you'll see when you start cutting these together. You probably can't even hear the audio on this. But we're not really worried about audio right now. We're just looking at the visuals. However, if you do want to add audio, if you have a song on your computer, I've already added a song in here, and this is not a good song for this, but you can just import an MP3 or a WAV file and drop it down into this audio track, and then it'll play under your video. You won't hear it if I play it now, so there's no point. But if you want to experiment with that, it's there, but I'm not going to require it for this particular project. So once you've edited together all your clips, to finish it up, all you do is click this button called Finish. And we're not going to worry about thumbnails because we're not like posting this to YouTube. It's already set to export to video SD, and I want you to name it. Mine is already named, but your name, and then yacht. For this project is yacht. And it's automatically going to download it to your WeVideo account, and it'll send you a link to download it. But if you click this button right here for Google Drive, when you export it, it'll go automatically to your Google Drive as well, and then you can just turn it in straight from there into the classroom page. Then you hit the export button, and it's going to take a moment, but now it's rendering the video. And the cool thing with this is it's doing this on their cloud server, so you don't even have to stay on the page. Once you've hit render, you can go ahead and close the page and go do something else, and it'll email you when your clip is finished rendering, and then you can go ahead and turn it in. So have a great day. If you have any questions, send me an email.